So if you kill the old man who has been around your life, what will you gain? If you kill the old men who are playing mentors and role models in your life, what will you gain? If you take away those men from the picture, how would your life be? I will tell you how it will be. Stick around. Hi, I'm Dr. Zoma and welcome to Soar Up. This channel is here to rebuild your perspective on leadership, relationship, and healthy lifestyle. Let me tell you a story. So there's this young man who became king after his father. His father had reigned for about 40 years and it was a good reign actually. Even though he had his own challenges, he reigned and he passed on. And this young man became king after his father. Now something challenging happened. So the young men and even the old men came to him and said to him, "Your father's yoke on us was grievous. Your father didn't let us breathe. He didn't let us have any chance. Please make his yoke lighter and we will serve you." These people pledged to serve him if only he could make their yoke lighter. So he told them, "Give me 3 days and I will give you an answer." When the 3 days had come and passed, the people came back. But meanwhile, the young man went to the old men who had served his father. These old men had stood in the presence of his father for so long. They had served his father for these number of years, for 40 years. And it was a good service because in that period of time, even though his father had 300 concubines, Gist Lover blog or any of the social media did not take the news online. His father's affairs were kept secret because these old men were there to put him in check. They were there to guide him. He was a wise man. But he needed guidance also. So this young man met the old men who had served his father for this number of years and told them exactly what the people said. These people have come to me and they have said, if I can make their burden lighter, they will serve me. How do you advise me to speak to them? And the old men, with so much wisdom of experience, told him, if only you will serve them and speak good words to them, they will be your servant. But amazingly and quite disappointingly, this young man left the counsel of the old men who were there to help him, and he went to young men who he grew up with. And when he told the young men, they gave him a bad counsel, and he went on to give that counsel to the people. And that was what necessitated the break, the dividing of Israel into Israel and Judah. So this young man was left with 2 tribes instead of the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, here is my point to you. You know, when you read the Bible, Proverbs 20 verse 5, it says, "Counsel in the heart of a man is like deep waters, but a man of understanding will draw it out." Now, there are a few things I want to cite here because it's important that you note them. Number one, that it regards counsel as deep waters. Do you remember the good old well? The good old well we used to have back in the days. Now, this is the analogy I want to present to you. What determines the kind of water you draw out of a well would depend on a lot of factors. Your fetching paraphernalia, your technique, even the level of water in the well. Now, remember that these men had served his father, and they were willing to serve him, to help him rule and reign peacefully. So the number one thing I want to point out about drawing counsel out of a man is the level of the water. So imagine you go to a well to draw water, and the well is filled to the brim. You may not need to stress yourself so much. You just need to throw your bucket and you take a bucket full of water. Now, what does that tell me? That tells me that when you have a man who is within your space, who is willing to give you more than you're willing to receive, oftentimes it looks like they are full of water. They are full of water. And the well will give you clean water. Will give you clean water. But some young men do not know that there are other wells that may never give you clean water. So imagine this well is half filled. You would have to stress yourself, tie a rope around your bucket and throw your bucket down to take some water. Sometimes the water you get may not be clean water, especially if there had been another user. You may be fetching water that is not clean. So when you meet a man who he's trying to observe you, he's trying to be sure that you have the heart attitude to his counsel, because he will not throw precious stones, precious jewels to pigs. Nobody does that. If he wants to be sure that you have the right heart to take his counsel, he will not be quick to give you counsel. You would have to stress, you would have to do some gymnastics to get water out of that well. But if you do use that water well, you are sure to come back to a full well. Now, what's the other thing I want to talk about? The kind of fetching paraphernalia you have. Nobody takes a plastic bucket to a well because it may be brittle. The bucket may snap and fall back in the well. So when you don't have the right heart attitude for the counsel you're looking for, when you don't create the right atmosphere to get good counsel, you may never get good counsel. Another thing you may need to consider is the strength of the rope. The strength of the rope. So if the rope is weak, it can snap. But if the rope is strong, it can go down in the well and bring you a bucket full of water. The rope talks about the relationship, the strength of the relationship. You can't put a 5-year order on a 3-month relationship. That relationship will snap. You can't make requests on relationship that are not supposed to give you what you're seeking for. Those relationships will snap. You've got to make requests on relationships that will give you exactly what you're looking for. So in order to learn leadership, in order to become the man you want to become, you must find these men, these wells of waters, and surround yourself with them. To reach the pinnacle of leadership, you must crush the threshold of friendship. You must not consider these men as friends, as something that can be dispensed with. If you intend to reach the pinnacle, it takes so much to give you a cancer. If the water is clean, use it well. Now, there are times when you may fetch water that is not clean. You will need to sieve this water. But when you fetch water that is not clean, perhaps it is because of your fetching techniques. It's because you adopted ingenuine approaches to obtaining water from the well. And there are ways to treat this well if you want it to give you the best. You must ensure that you keep the well covered. Keep it covered. You must protect your relationship with these men that God has put around you. You must protect your relationship with the men that are around your life so that there is no contamination. You must endeavor that the relationship you have around your life are protected duly. And only then can you be sure to get clean water. Some of the things I've described there, you will find them in the book called The Labor of the Foolish. I'll put the link in the description and I need you to go check that book out. It's a great read for you. Now, if you're new to this channel, I'd like you to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and share this video with as many friends of yours as possible. Till I come your way. Peace.